Alright, so we are going to be doing a Grand Theft Auto collection. Now I have 9 Grand Theft Auto games so far, including PS3 Grand Theft Auto 5, the latest Grand Theft Auto game. Now the upcoming Grand Theft Auto game is Grand Theft Auto 6, which is coming to PS5 very soon. Now let's take a look at the Grand Theft Auto games I have. First Grand Theft Auto game we're going to view is the original Grand Theft Auto on PS1. It works perfectly fine. No scratches whatsoever. It's a black disc because it's a PS1 game. This one's rated M to mature. Yeah, all my Grand Theft Auto games are rated M to mature. Now let's move on to our next Grand Theft Auto game. Other way, I have this in this DVD cover case because I don't have a case for it. Next up is Grand Theft Auto London 1969 on PS1. It works perfectly fine. No problems whatsoever. And for this, you need to insert a Grand Theft Auto 1 disc to play this game. Now let's move on to our next Grand Theft Auto game. Now the Grand Theft Auto game I lost is Grand Theft Auto 2 because it is cracked and it does not work. Next up, I have 2 Grand Theft Auto 3s. They both work, but only this one has some issues with gameplay, same as GTA San Andreas. And they have the different rated M to mature logos. This one's a 2001 version, and this one's a special edition version in 2006. Now let's move on to our next Grand Theft Auto game. By the way, it's on PS2. Next up is Grand Theft Auto Vice City on PlayStation 2, which is PS2. It works perfectly fine, no problems whatsoever. It's a great game. It took place in the 1980s. Now let's move on to our next Grand Theft Auto game. Next up is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It works perfectly fine, just has some problems with the gameplay. The roads don't load up, and I have no disc in it. Now I'm going to show you the game in there. Here's the game itself, GTA San Andreas. It has some errors during the gameplay. Now let's move on to our next GTA San Andreas game. This one's on PS2. Next up is Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories on PlayStation 2, PS2. It works perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. It took place in 1998. Let's move on to our next Grand Theft Auto game. Next up is Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories on PlayStation 2, PS2. It works perfectly fine. No scratches whatsoever, no issues. Now let's move on to our final Grand Theft Auto game. Last but not least is Grand Theft Auto 5 for PS3. This one's untested. And had this since Christmas then. Yeah, it's untested. Now, it's the latest Grand Theft Auto game I have in my collection. It's on a 7th generation console right here. PS3. Now that's going to do with me with my Grand Theft Auto game collection. This video is to be posted on my dad's channel as of right now. Thank you for watching. I hope you like, subscribe, and comment. See you again in the next video for more of your favorite reviews, game over videos, collection videos, and more.